Watching the Olympics this summer, I was incredulous when Simone Biles announced that she was withdrawing from competition to focus on her mental health. Incredulous because she fought against society's definition of a hero, a status she earned after winning 5 medals in the 2016 Olympics. To me, she clinched her superhero status by honoring the dignity of her person, by having the courage to fight the status quo of what was expected of her to compete, perform, or win when she chose her mental wellness over the potential to amass yet another Olympic medal. With that decision, she became a shining example of the heroes we need versus the heroes we typically look toward. And those whom we look toward are usually at the forefront, medaled, moneyed, or titled. But what about the unsung heroes among us? The heroes we need. Those on the sidelines who operate behind the scenes to ensure that our delivery of care or service models continue uninterrupted and unabated. Heroes beyond the hospitals, beyond the celebrity. They're all fighting the same pandemic with skill sets just as indispensable and protocols just as integral to the healing process. Long-term care nurses, LNAs, recreation workers, environmental services, food bank staff, case managers, counselors, immigration staff, St. Charles teachers, administrative and back office support staff services. Take Dave Sanders, for example. He's a 42-year employee who's our Senior Director of Physical Plant Services at St. Anne's Rehab and Nursing Center in Dover. When asked why he shows up to work day after day in the midst of this pandemic, putting his life on the line to serve the needs of the residents, he simply replied, "It's what we do. We have a responsibility to care for each other in this world, and that's what I'm committed to." When asked the same question, Mark Gambeski, a warehouse manager for the New Hampshire Food Bank who was instrumental in pushing 2.2 million pounds of food by way of 72 mobile food pantries throughout the state last year, replied, "I'm just trying to do good things for my own community and to give back, to support the common good. I also want to be an example to our younger staff." Finally, Roxanne Ashby, the Assistant Director of Nurses at Mount Carmel Rehab and Nursing Center in Manchester, stated, "I love our residents and staff, and I'm not going to abandon them. The thought of that makes my eyes water and my stomach flip, not in a good way. I work in long-term care. I chose that work because I love the people and what I do, and I'm not going to let a pandemic hold me back." Wow. 3 wonderful examples of servant leaders and heroes who will never be recognized in the national spotlight, but shining examples nonetheless of heroes we need versus those we typically look toward. It truly has been everyone in this together, doing their part, who've helped to sustain us through this pandemic. Many times throughout the past year, though, we've had to stand by our convictions and the work that we do. We engaged in a lot of advocacy work, fighting against senior-assisted suicide, for adequate funding for our senior care services, and for immigration reform. In Pope Francis's words, "It's been hard to build a culture of encounter in which we meet as people with a shared dignity within a throwaway culture that regards the well-being of the elderly, the unemployed, the immigrant, and freedom of choice as peripheral to their own well-being." So we had to confront the naysayers with facts, challenge the hardliners with reason. We had to speak truth to power for the voiceless we represent. And our resilience through adversity began to surface. Through this, we've had an extremely busy year, and we've enjoyed various successes. Outpacing the national average, 92% of our nursing home residents and 83% of our staff are vaccinated. Additionally, our nursing home occupancy levels have begun to rebound from a low of 68% in February to 81% currently, a testament to our safer workplaces and the great care and dedicated staff at our predominantly 5-star facilities. This year, we also introduced our Pathways program, where select staff and new hires can benefit from a fully scholarshiped career pathway, starting out as a unit aide and progressing into an LNA, LPN, and finally an RN degree, all on our dime. With so many students mired in school debt, this is a great opportunity for someone considering a healthcare career. Come join our dynamic team. That's my shameless plug for the day. Additionally, as part of this program, thanks to donor support, we were able to offer 8 full-boat LPN scholarships to our staff this past April. It's been exciting to grow our own nurses and to see them flourish year after year. Moving on, St. Jacinta, our healthcare staffing agency that we opened just a few years ago, is also thriving. Through the leadership of Tracy Lane, its executive director, 41% of our total agency staff are now from St. Jacinta. In June of this year, we hit a high of 57% of our agency staff coming from them. I'm grateful to Tracy and her dedication. This past year, we hired Jeff Lefkovich, our new Director of Real Estate and Affordable Senior Housing Development. We've been in the senior housing business for 75 years and are looking to grow our continuum of senior living options with a goal of adding 500 new units of middle market and affordable housing and rental options for seniors around the state within the next 10 years. Exciting stuff. Outside of healthcare, some of the successes in social services centered around Liberty House's renovations finally being completed. In a couple of months, we'll have 17 guys and residents, almost double the capacity of their former building. Through their new recreation center, we're also now able to serve a greater number of community vets where they can connect with peers in more impactful ways, including art therapy, recovery meetings, and through our newly designed pantry shopping areas for food and clothing items. And how about the food bank? What a banner year with fundraising and food distribution. They hit an all-time high of 17.7 million pounds of food distributed, a 25% increase from the prior year. And to cap it off, just a few months ago, they were also awarded Nonprofit of the Year by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hats off to all of you. On the development front for Catholic Charities, our fundraising was up 8% in a very difficult year. As part of that, we also fundraised for a very successful crisis fund, which continues to benefit people today with rent assistance, car repairs, and other emergency costs. This has also allowed recipients to maintain stability in their lives, get to their jobs, and avoid evictions. Finally, as of this past June, the newest program to join our family of life enrichment services is New Generation, a transitional living program in Greenland, just outside of Portsmouth, for young moms and their children. We're excited to have a greater presence on the seacoast and to welcome them on board as we assist them in moving lives forward. So what else happens when an organization like ours looks beyond the front and the center toward those operating from the back corners of our workplaces? In the frame of Catholic social teaching, the common good is measured with participation and solidarity. And with this, our residents and the various individuals and families we serve through our many programs are flourishing because of the commitment, resolve, and resiliency of our staff. It's a true reflection of God's glory. The words of Pope Francis affirm this, addressing the heart of each of our workers when, from a New York Times opinion page last November, he writes, "Whether or not they're conscious of it, their choice testified to a belief that it is better to live a shorter life serving others than a longer one resisting that call. They are the saints next door, who have awakened something important in our hearts, making credible once more what we desire to instill by the work that we do. They are the antibodies to the virus of indifference. They remind us that our lives are a gift and we grow by giving of ourselves, not preserving ourselves, but losing ourselves in service." Amen to that. Collectively, we still have our work cut out for us. Staffing, advocacy, wage adjustments in light of reimbursement challenges, supply costs and supply chain interruptions, and actively working to redistribute privilege. Our plate is full, but our hearts are fuller. Our resolve is greater, and as a whole, Catholic healthcare and Catholic social services is stronger than ever. To all of you here this afternoon, and to those of you who weren't able to make it, I deeply appreciate your self-sacrifice and your contributions to help edify, stabilize, nurture, and heal those in need. There are many heroes among us, like our staff working in the backgrounds, like our incredible board, committee members, volunteers, and our many benefactors who continue to believe in us and the impact of our work. Honestly, the work that we do is only possible because of you. I continue to be humbled by your courage, resilience, and resourcefulness, and how you've adapted and responded during this precarious time. Thank you for your magnanimous hearts, your selfless service, and your unrelenting love. To sum it up, participation is human flourishing. Solidarity is human flourishing. Servant leadership is human flourishing. And thanks to you, Catholic Charities New Hampshire is human flourishing.